Hi. Story time.
Mm-hmm.
Morgan and Madeline show. Right? Yes. It's just 4 o'clock now. We're gonna give people a minute to get on with us before we start. Hope everyone's okay out there. Ready for some nice solid stretch of spring weather. I don't want to be cold anymore. But
It
we
has
are
to be cold right now
yes.
since we already chose the weather.
We are excited for story time. Right?
And I'm sitting on feathers.
Yes. I'll have to show you. Madeline will have when she stands up for the song. Oh, there's Jima. You'll see her full ensemble when we start our song, right?
Yeah.
Yes, she worked very hard at getting dolled up. Yes. And she's a smiley girl today. Well, right now, I should say.
I'm sitting on feathers.
Yes. Remember where you got that from?
No.
From Jima.
Oh
yeah. Silly. Okay. You ready?
yeah. I finished behind my head.
Okay. Here we go. Here we're getting in position here. Right? Okay. Hands go up and hands go down. I can turn myself around. I can stand up on one shoe or foot. With her feet today. I can listen, so can you. I can sit, I'll show you how. Story time is starting now. Okay. We say hello like this. We say hello like this. We're all here for story time, so say hello like this. We say hello to Madeline. We say hello to Madeline. We're all here for story time, so say hello to Madeline. Hi, Madeline.
Hi.
We're going to say hello to Jima, okay?
Okay.
Say hello to Jima. We say hello to Jima. We're all here for story time, so say hello to Jima. Hi, Jima.
How is your day going?
Can you say hello to me?
We say hello to Mom. Say hello to Mom. We're all here for story time, so say hello to Mom.
Oh, thank you. I love it when you sing to me. So nice. So I have some good stories picked out for us today.
The first one is one that I like and I've read.
Yes. And they're all about just appreciating what makes each of us different. Because it'd be boring if we were all the same, right? So, like, I don't think there's anyone like her, like this one. But so I really like these stories. I'm excited to share them with you. If and they're just, I don't know. I think they'll just brighten up your day on this gray and windy, rainy, wet day. Right?
Right.
Do you want to tell them the title of our first story? Remember the title?
Gaston.
Stand up and say it.
Gaston.
That's right. Gaston. Words by Kelly DiPuccio. Pictures by Christian Robinson. Gaston's this little doggy right here. This one is published by Athenaeum Books. Thank you. But this is a really fun book. If anyone was at our drag queen story hour, we read this summer, then I should say the queens read it. And it's just a book I really like. So, Gaston. Mrs. Poodle admired her new puppies, Fifi, Fufu, Ooh La La, and Gaston. Would you like to see them again? Fifi, Fufu, Ooh la la, and Gaston. Perfectly precious, aren't they? Mrs. Poodle thought so too. The puppies grew, as puppies do. Three were no bigger than teacups. The fourth, however, continued to grow and grow until he was the size of a teapot. Mrs. Poodle took pride in teaching her puppies how to be proper pooches. They were taught to sip, never slobber. Good, well done, very nice. Nice try. They were taught to yip, never yap. Yip, yip, yip. Ruff. And they were taught to walk with grace, never race. Tiptoe, tippy toe. Wow! The puppies were also taught how to look pretty in pink, nibble their kibble, and ride in style. Whatever the lesson, Gaston always worked the hardest, practiced the longest, and smiled the biggest. Mrs. Poodle was very pleased with all her puppies. Fifi, Fufu, Ooh La La, and Gaston. Spring arrived, and the proud mother was eager to show off her darlings. She took them to the park for their very first stroll in public. There was much to see: daffodils, ducklings, dogs. Oh dear, who do we have here? Rocky, Ricky, Bruno, and Antoinette. Would you like to see them again? Rocky, Ricky, Bruno, and Antoinette. This was more than a little awkward. The mothers sized up the pups. The pups sized up one another. Seems there's been a terrible mistake, Mrs. Bulldog said, breaking the silence. Oui, oui, Mrs. Poodle agreed sadly. Whatever shall we do? Mrs. Bulldog could not come up with an answer. I guess we'll let them decide, she replied at last. Gaston and Antoinette were young, but even they could see there had been a mix-up. The two puppies began to circle around and around the group. Gaston walked with grace. Antoinette raced. Gaston yipped. Antoinette yapped. And when they finally came to a stop, the puppies had traded places. There, that looked right. It just didn't feel right. That evening, Antoinette tried to fit in with her new sisters, but she did not like anything proper or precious or pink. Phooey! On the other side of town, Gaston tried to fit in with his new brothers, but he did not like anything brutish or brawny or brown. Ick! Antoinette and Gaston weren't the only ones who were having a hard time adjusting. Moms are missing their other kids. The next morning, Mrs. Poodle forgot all about being proper and raced back to the park. Mrs. Bulldog was already there waiting with her burly brood. It seems we've made a terrible mistake, she nearly shouted. Oui, oui, Mrs. Poodle agreed happily. This time, Gaston and Antoinette wasted no time trading places. There, that looked right, and it felt right too. From that day forward, the families met in the park every afternoon to play. Rocky, Ricky, Bruno, and Antoinette taught the poodle puppies a thing or two about being tough. Likewise, Fifi, Fufu, Ooh La La, and Gaston taught the bulldog puppies a thing or two about being tender. And many years later, when Gaston and Antoinette fell in love and had puppies of their own, they taught them to be whatever they wanted to be. The end. Important to remember, you can be whatever you want to be. You remember that? Okay, we're going to stand up for this one. Okay, we're going to march. Okay? Well, we're going to stand up and march. We're not going to actually get on floors marching like ants just so you can see us. But these ants do different things too, okay? So, ready? Ready to march?
Yes.
The ants go marching one by one, hurrah, hurrah. The ants go marching one by one, hurrah, hurrah. The ants go marching one by one. The little one stopped to suck his thumb, and they all go marching down to the ground to get out of the rain. Now they're going to go two by two. The ants go marching two by two, hurrah, hurrah. The ants go marching two by two, hurrah, hurrah. The ants go marching two by two. The little one stopped to tie his shoe. And they all go marching down the town to get out of the rain. Now they're going to go by three. The ants go marching three by three, hurrah, hurrah. The ants go marching three by three, hurrah, hurrah. The ants go marching three by three. The little one stopped to climb a tree, and they all go marching down to the town to get out of the rain. The ants go marching four by four, hurrah, hurrah. The ants go marching four by four, hurrah, hurrah. The ants go marching four by four. The little one stopped to shut the door, and they all go marching down to the ground to get out of the rain.
Who knew they had doors in the ground?
I know. Well, the ants, they crawl underground. They make their own little doors, right? One more. The ants go marching five by five, hurrah, hurrah. The ants go marching five by five, hurrah, hurrah. The ants go marching five by five. The little ones take a dive, and they all go marching down to the ground. Get out of the rain. Good job. Now we're going to sit back down for the next one. Okay?
The next song?
Yeah. I'm going to use those crayons that helped get me. Okay? You want to hold them up when I call the color?
Yeah.
Okay. Ready? Because it's good to have different colors of crayons too, right? What would you do if you only had a yellow crayon to use? Okay. 5 little crayons waiting in a row. The first one said, I'm red, you know. There you go. The second one said, I'm green like a tree. The third one said, I'm blue like the sea.
Oh, this is rhyming.
The fourth one said, I'm yellow as the sun. The fifth one said, being purple is fun. 5 little crayons, happy as can be, coloring pictures with you and me. Good. Okay, we're going to read our next story. Why are you throwing them on the ground? Okay, here's our next story. This one is called Pezzatino. Can you say that? Can you say that, Madeline? Good. Pezzatino by Leo Leone. Here's the cover. Pezzatino. It's fun to say. And this is published by Alfred A. Knopf. This book was written before I was born. It was written in 1975. So in Italian, pezzatino means little piece. Okay, so bear that in mind as we read this story here. Okay, his name was Pezzatino. All the others were big and did daring and wonderful things. He was small and surely must be a little piece of somebody else, he thought. He often wondered whose little piece he could be, and one day he decided to find out. Excuse me, he asked the one who runs. Am I perhaps your little piece? How could I possibly run if I had a piece missing, said the one who runs, somewhat surprised. Am I your little piece? He asked the strong one. How could I be strong if I had a piece missing? Was the answer. And when the swimming one came up to the surface, Pezzatino asked him too. How could I swim if I had a piece missing? Answered the swimming one. And he dove back into the deep water. You up there, shouted Pezzatino as he climbed toward the one on the mountain. Am I a little piece of yours? The one on the mountain laughed. Do you think I could climb mountains if I had a piece missing? Pezzatino asked the flying one too, but the answer was always the same. Finally, Pezzatino went to the wise one who lived in a cave. Wise one, he said, am I a little piece of yours? You think I could be wise if I had a little piece missing? Answered the wise one. I must be someone's little piece, Pezzatino cried out. How can I find out? Go to the island of Wham, said the wise one. Early the next morning, Pezzatino took off in his little boat. After a rough trip on the high sea, he arrived wet and tired on the island of Wham. How strange! The island was nothing but heaps of pebbles. Not a tree, not a blade of grass, and above all, not a single living creature. Pezzatino climbed up and down, until finally exhausted, he tripped, tumbled down, and broke into lots of little pieces. The wise one had been right. Pezzatino now knew that he too, like all the others, was made of little pieces. He picked himself up, and when he was sure there was not a single little piece missing, he ran back to his boat. He rode all night to get home as fast as he could. All his friends were waiting for him. I am myself, he shouted, full of joy. His friends didn't quite understand what he meant, but Pezzatino seemed happy, so they were happy too. You like that one, Natalie? Yeah. Good. Okay. We can sit for this song if you want, or you can stand. Okay. 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 We need our 5 fingers again. 5 little ducks went out one day over the hills and far away. Mother duck said quack, 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 quack. And only 4 little ducks came back.
Hey, this I didn't learn in class, but my other classmates did.
Cool. 4 little ducks went out one day over the hills and far away. Mother duck said quack, 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 quack. But only 3 little ducks came back.
I know this in
Cool.
but I don't remember the words, but I know it.
Awesome. 3 little ducks went out one day over the hills and far away. Mother duck said quack, 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 quack. But only 2 little ducks came back. 2 little ducks went out one day over the hills and far away. Mother duck said quack, 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 quack. But only 1 little duck came back. 1 little duck went out one day over the hills and far away. Mother duck said quack, 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 quack. But no little ducks came back that day. Sad mother duck went out one day over the hills and far away. Mother duck said quack, 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 quack. Now her 5 little ducks came back.
Happy ending.
Yes. Okay. I'm going to stand up for this one, but we can leave our chairs there. Okay? Okay. We're going to do this one through 2 times, okay? Put your arms up. Put your arms down. Put them through the middle and move them all around. One arm to the left. One arm to the right. Give yourself a hug and hold on tight. Okay, one more time.
That's rhyming.
Yes. Put your arms up. Put your arms down. Put them through the middle and move them all around. One arm to the left. One arm to the right. Give yourself a hug and hold on tight. Good. Okay. We have one more story to read. This one's a Jan Brett story. So these illustrations are ready to look at. So we're going to read Mossy today by Jan Brett. Cool. So this is Mossy. What kind of animal is Mossy, Madeline?
Yes.
Yeah. This one is published by G.P. Putnam Sons through Penguin Group. Thank you. So this is a really pretty one to look at. About a turtle named Mossy. I know. On a misty, moisty morning, a young turtle stood at the edge of a lily pad pond. Her name was Mossy. Mossy liked this damp, cool place. She spent so much time here that curlicues of moss began to grow on her carapace until her shell was covered with them. As the spring days got warmer, tiny ferns unfurled and wildflowers began to blossom. Soon, Mossy's shell was home to an amazing garden. How cool is that? Mossy liked to look at her reflection in lily pad pond.
Look in the circle.
Yeah, it's always good to look in those and see what was growing in her garden. Every day brought a surprise, a new flower or perhaps a delicious wild strawberry. Mossy's garden was growing wider and taller. One day, Mossy was standing by Lily Pad Pond when the water rippled and two ruby red eyes looked up at her. It was a handsome turtle she hadn't seen before. Scoot had never seen a lady turtle like Mossy. He thought her garden was pretty, but it was Mossy who made his heart beat fast. She was breathtaking. Scoot scrambled up the bank and walked toward Mossy. Entranced by those ruby eyes, Mossy made her way into the open glade toward Scoot. Just then, Dr. Carolina, on her morning walk with her niece Tori, spotted Mossy. Gently, Dr. Carolina picked her up. She is perfect for the museum.
Turtles aren't good for music. They're good in nature.
Yeah. Never had Dr. Carolina's museum had a wonder as extraordinary as a garden-growing turtle. She and Tori made a home for Mossy in a viewing pavilion with plants, a reflecting pool, and everything they thought a turtle would need. But Mossy already had everything she needed back at Lily Pad Pond, and she longed to go home and find her new friend. Every day, Scoot waited for Mossy, but Mossy didn't come back. All summer, visitors came to see Mossy in her famous garden. They watched her eat raspberries and mealy worms, mushrooms and lettuce, but Mossy didn't seem happy to Tori, and Dr. Carolina was too busy to notice. Mossy was lonely for Scoot. She had stopped looking at her garden in the reflecting pool because it made her remember those ruby red eyes shining like jewels peering at her from Lily Pad Pond. Thoughts of Scoot only made her sad. Snow fell outside, but inside the museum, Mossy's garden kept growing and people flocked to see her. Dr. Carolina was thrilled that Mossy had made her museum famous. Today, Tori and her class had come to see Mossy. The meteorites and geodes amazed the children. They loved the woodland diorama, the butterflies, and the shells. Finally, Dr. Carolina said it was time to see a special exhibit. The children gathered around the viewing pavilion. At first they didn't see Mossy. Then she started to walk, her magnificent garden swaying back and forth. The little turtle captivated the children. Mossy is a special turtle, Dr. Carolina told them. Her garden grows and changes all year round. She is never hungry or cold. She is safe living in the museum. Here with us, Mossy could live to be 100 years old. Tori frowned. She loved the museum. She had helped her aunt collect wonderful things on their walks. But Mossy was the first living creature that Dr. Carolina had taken to live in the museum. Is that why she looks so sad? Tori wondered. Do you think Mossy is happy here? Tori asked her aunt. Does she have any turtle friends? The children asked. No, but here we all have the opportunity to see her. Dr. Carolina paused. The children had given her an idea. On the first day of spring, a sign in the front of the museum read, "Closed. Do not disturb." Two women arrived at the back of the museum. Dr. Carolina and Tori were there to meet them. Everyone wondered what this meant. 1 day passed, 2 days passed, then three. After a week, everyone was invited inside. Dr. Carolina introduced the two mystery women. Please meet Flora and Fauna, she said. The curtain was pulled aside, revealing a portrait of Mossy, larger than life, with her garden painted in glowing detail. Flora had painted all the plants. Fauna had painted Mossy. Together, the artists had captured a moment in time that would never fade. Everyone cheered and clapped. See, at dusk, Dr. Carolina gently put Mossy in a collection basket. Come with me, she said to Tori, and off they went to take Mossy to lily pad pond. Together they said goodbye to their garden-growing friend and put her in the glade next to the waterfall, exactly where Dr. Carolina had found her. Mossy was home. The next morning, the warm spring sun woke up Scoot from his bed beneath the leaves. He opened his ruby eyes and saw Mossy. Their year apart vanished into the past. At the museum, the portrait of Mossy continued to amaze visitors. What an extraordinary work of art and nature, they exclaimed. The world changed as the years went by and Tori grew up, but Mossy's portrait is there in Dr. Carolina's museum for all to see, not knowing that not far away, on the misty, moisty edge of Lily Pad Pond, an old turtle still stands. Her name is Mossy. Okay, Lily. Ready to tickle the stars? Okay.
Got my tickle ready.
Good. Tickle the stars. Tickle your toes. Turn around and tickle your nose. Pretend to. Thank you. Reach down low. Reach way up high. Story time is over, so goodbye. Okay, so our craft today, we are going to make Mossy, a turtle, using paper plate. I cut out some little shapes for the legs and the head just out of green construction paper. If you don't have green construction paper, take white paper, color it in with green, or you can pick a different color altogether. Okay, and I just used a paper plate that I had. So now Madeline's going to decorate it. She can use little squares of different colored tissue paper, which might be cool. She can overlap them, make different colors. She can just color it if she wants. She can use stickers, or you can use whatever you want to decorate your very own moss. Remember how fancy? You could draw some flowers on there, some plants. Remember, Mossy had that whole garden growing on her. So that's our craft for today. If you want to do it, then have fun. Go for it. Make your own Mossy. Okay. So Madeline's going to work on decorating Mossy's shell right now. And we are going to sign off for now. I'll be back at 6 to start our new book, Finding Langston.
Oh, that sounds actually interesting.
For our nightly read aloud. And I think that's it. Tomorrow at 10:30 is Healthy Kids, virtually with the library. I think that's all I've got for you. Okay. Thanks for hanging out with us. I don't know what that face is. Okay. Have a good night. Bye out there.